and just make it a little more fun to be in your kitchen. So, I'm pumped because what we are making is something that will boost veggies, that will get in lots of tasty flavor, that you can make it healthy or people can put it on a bun and do whatever because it is sub in a tub and you can choose if you're going to put the sub in a tub on a sub or not. So, what is a sub in a tub? It is lettuce. It is anything that you put on a sub, and it's all chopped up into a nice, like in a bowl. So you can serve it right from your bowl and just eat it. You can put it on your bread. You can do whatever you feel like, but it is best when it is fresh. So eat it definitely within 24 hours because the liquid will start to come out of your veggies and it gets a little sloppy, but it's still yummy. It's just I prefer eating it within that 24-hour window. So do keep that in mind when you're making it at home. So I did include an ingredient list. You can just veer however you want from it. You don't have to follow exactly what I do. I do like it my way. But you do you, okay? And if you have a smaller family, maybe you only want to do half a head of lettuce. Or maybe you have some lettuce that's already loose and you're just going to put in some of it and not all mess the whole head of iceberg lettuce. So you can do what you want, make it work for you. What I'm gonna do, because thank you everybody for subscribing to my page, because now I can do this from my phone. I'm actually gonna flip things around and do an overhead shot so you can see better what I'm doing instead of me trying to crouch down, and we'll try to do it this way. So ride with me for a moment, and I think I can flip my camera around too. Ooh, yes, I think I can. Okay, so here we go. You get to look at my ceiling, and you can have no judgment on my ceiling or anything else that you're seeing that you're not supposed to see right now, okay? It's our school corner, and who knows what else. All right, here. Flip that around, and we're going to scooch you up. Someday I'll be cool enough that maybe I'll have multiple cameras, but today is not that day. And we should be able to see things nicely now. All right, so I'm going to try to keep an eye on it. If I'm not doing a good job, you tell me, okay? If you're joining in live, be sure to comment, or if you're catching a replay, shout out and pop your name in the comments, because I like to know who my replay warriors are. So we have this head of iceberg, and what we want to do is get this core out of here, and we could use a knife. I recommend using a plastic knife if you do, because it'll keep your lettuce from bruising as much. But here's what I'm going to do. This is the pepper quarter, and this is for like your small peppers, so jalapenos, whatnot. This can be used for taking the guts out of your bell peppers, but it also works pretty darn slick to take a core out of lettuce. Cabbage is kind of hard, but this lettuce is nice and soft, and so it works pretty well. So here's that core gone out of here. And then I just need to be smarter than there we go. All right, we got it. Got my core out. That, again, pepper core. I'm going to put it into this bowl. I have a glass bowl so you can see better and go from there. I'm just going to throw in my head. You could rip it apart if you really wanted to and make it a little easier for cutting, but all of the magic is going to be done by my tool, so you really don't have to do this, but sometimes it makes it a little easier. I do want to apologize in advance if I have a cough or have to clear my throat, because I am getting over something. I don't know what it is. All right, I have some washed tomatoes, but before I say that they're washed and good to go, I'm going to do one other thing. I do like a little red onion in mine. And red onion's one of those things where you're like, it could be good. It could be not so good. I forgot to grab my knife, so bear with me. And the reason it might not be so good is because sometimes it's too pungent. It just doesn't taste right. It's overpowering and you get like the Subway breath going on. Please tell me you know what Subway breath is. So we're going to avoid Subway breath. And normally, if I was going to cut my onion, I'd cut it in half here and do some other things, but I just need a little bit. I don't need a ton. I like a little bit. And what I do is once I get it cut, I'm actually going to rinse it. And what the rinsing does is it takes some of those really pungent things, the juices in your onion, and it makes this so that it's much more mild. You can go from there. I'm actually going to cut this in half so I have a flatter, works
base to work with. Otherwise, I'll chop my finger off. Do that. Set this one up. Oh, that one's pretty thin actually already. I'm going to go step over to my sink and rinse them off. We'll be good to go. Just cold water works. Nothing fancy, just cold water. If you like onion breath, don't while rinsing. You'll be fine. So I'm going to throw this over here in with my onions and let them just drip dry a tiny bit before I keep going. So the next thing I'm going to add to the bowl, I'm going to get our meats ready. So what I'm doing today, it's a combination of salami, of ham, and turkey. So turkey, we always have in our house some sliced turkey. I actually do have sliced ham sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes. And then salami was a special purchase. I really like salami. If you like pepperoni, if you like other things like that, or if you don't want to do this because you're like, oh, I'm trying to avoid nitrates, or we really just don't like the flavor, you do what works for you. You could do roast beef if that's your thing. That's usually not my favorite lunch meat, but other people love it. So if that's what you want to do, go for it. I am doing, it's maybe like a 1/4 pound of each meat. So this is nothing that I'm measuring though. So measure with your heart. I love those recipes, don't you? As long as you know what you're doing, right? Not just measure with your heart and you have no clue what kind of measurements you're going with. That gets a little intimidating. All right, I got some turkey here. Just throw that in. And I got some ham here too. The ham, I probably won't do quite as much just because I have more turkey in there than I thought. And we do have the salami, actually. We'll be generous today with our meat. It's a good protein, right? Maybe. If you're a protein person. You could pop some eggs in here too if you wanted a hard-boiled egg or two. That would be great. All right. So we got our onions. We got our tomatoes. We got our meats. We got our things. We cannot forget cheese. I have provolone cheese today. Do it that way so you can read it the right way. Doesn't matter. I'm not necessarily marketing for best choice today, so it doesn't matter. I'm not that cool yet. Maybe someday I'll be that cool, but today I am not that cool. I'm just a lady in my kitchen making food. If you want to cut the cheese, not literally, but, figuratively, if you don't want to have cheese in here, if you're, dairy free, or if you're trying to cut some calories, this is a good place that you can add flavors in. If you wanted to add like some mustard in here later, that would give you some different flavors, or, just pick really flavorful, good meat, and then that would offset that too. Or if you wanted to keep it vegetarian, you could cut your meat out, take it out entirely, and then just add a whole bunch of vegetables that you like to do, and then make your heart happy. So I will add in the rest of our veggies in a bit because we're getting pretty full here. So I'm going to do a pre-chop with some of this, and then we'll add in our other toppings in a bit. So if you notice while I'm chopping here, this is the salad chopper, by the way, aptly named since we're chopping a salad essentially, but this probably isn't the salad that you were thinking of. Maybe not. Anyway, what I like this for, you notice I'm not cutting it like an actual scissors. You're just never going to get the force behind it. So stab it, chop. And this works so well when you are trying to shred up cooked chicken breast or a roast or whatever you have. Just, I do a lot of those meats in my deluxe multi-cooker, like your electric pressure cooker. So if you have an Instant Pot or whatever you have, I'll just chop right in there, and it makes it very easy to meal prep because you can just stab and chop and go to town and it falls apart and it's amazing. All right, now that I got some of this pre-chopped in here, I'll try to get into this head a little bit and make it go down in size. There we go. Got some pre-chopping done. I'm going to go ahead and pop in those tomatoes and onions. If I was talking about tomatoes, wasn't I? If I was going to do tomatoes, like larger tomatoes, I would seed them and get all that extra juice out, or this is going to get way too sloppy. So make sure that you have nice dry tomatoes. You can do this. You could do aroma if you don't want to have to seed they're a little drier too. And go from there. My other things I want to add are more like garnishes. So these are optional, but I love a hot banana pepper. So I'm going to do that. And I got to show you this cool tool. So today, you heard my lid. That was kind of fun. Today I'm going to show you. This is the garnish grabber. It looks like I might be injecting our food with something. It looks like I might be Ron Popeil going to go after his chicken or turkey or whatever he's doing in his roaster. But no, it grabs food. So you can see, and it looks like it's really weak, but it will grab olives, it will grab nuts, it will grab whatever you want. It'll grab pickles because it gets nice and big in the opening. Like you can see how far that extends, and you don't have to like fish around with stuff, and you don't have to drain it all. And then if you have leftovers, then it's getting moldy in your fridge or something. Anyway, the garnish grabber. I better stop here. My heart loves to eat more, but my kids will get mad. So I'll just have to add more later with my garnish grabber. All right. Like every good salad or every good sandwich, you need to have the sticky, gooey stuff to hold it all together. And so here's what we're doing. Some mayo. I always go for Duke's. Thanks. Hey, Duke's, if you want to send me some money, you can. No. They won't. They won't know who I am. They won't find me. But I want to say, for this giant bowl, I'm only going to add maybe 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of mayo. Just enough to stick it together. I can add more in a bit if I feel like I need a little bit more. But usually, once you get those veggies chopped, they hold it together pretty well. So it's very light in calorie. This is red wine vinegar. I'm just going to do a splash or two. You could do balsamic. You could do whatever you feel like. That was maybe a teaspoon. I don't even think it was that much. And we're going to do some salt and pepper. And if you have not seen these, this is my other fancy new thing I wanted to show you because our spring catalog just came out this week. Whoop! And I just ground right in there. This is motorized. So you can pick your different sizes and crank it and then push the top. And it glows a little bit like it's going to be an alien picking you up with your UFO or something. I don't know what it is. That's what I think of. I think of alien forces. That probably just says something weird about me, but you gotta find some humor in the kitchen somehow. All right. These are all the pieces. Now, all we're gonna do, chop to your heart's content. We are gonna just chop, chop, chop. If I had some music, if I had like royalties that I could pay, that would be a good time for that, but I don't. So you just have to listen to the chopping. I'll be quiet. Maybe this is ASMR or something. I don't know that it is, so I'll talk again. Oh. This salad chopper, I actually, thinking of really quick meals that are all in one, that bulk up your veggies, or that, help cover a lot of bases. I do a lot of stuff with rice in my pressure cooker. So I will put in, did you know that if you cook brown rice at the brown rice setting, and you put in frozen chicken breasts, they cook at the same rate. So you can cook them at the same time, which is really handy for me. Please tell me I'm not the only one who will forget to take something out to thaw. Or you just really don't know what you feel like. And then you're like, oh, I got to make something. I always have brown rice on hand. Now you can do white rice too. And if you had thawed chicken, that is about the same setting that you would do for thawed chicken. But I just do the brown. And I add in my frozen chicken and I'll cook it. And I can throw in whatever veggies I feel like. Either then or if I wanted to do maybe frozen peas at the end. While it's, coming back down and it's losing its heat, you can just sneak in there quick, and after it cooks, you have to wait for a bit, let all that rice come together, and open up the lid quick if you can, if you don't want to lose the pressure, and pop the peas in or whatever other frozen veggies you have, and you could do it that way. Or you could do things like, throw in Brussels sprouts have been on sale. Maybe that is disgusting to you, and if so, I apologize for saying Brussels sprouts on this video, but we actually really like them. And that would be a great vegetable to throw in. And then you get a little of everything in there. You don't have to cook separate things. You don't have to have a side. But it's separate enough that my picky eater, who's like, what is this thing? Why is it like a casserole? She doesn't like casseroles because well, I don't know if it's a texture thing or it's just, she's confused by sneaky things that are all mixed in together. What are you trying to get past me? And even in that format, she can pick out the things. She knows what the chicken looks like because I chop it with my chopper after, and you can see that it's chicken. She can pick out the Brussels sprouts. She can identify the rice. And it works for us. It's great. So, here I am talking away. If I wasn't talking the whole time, you probably see how quickly this comes together. I'm going to grab a big spoon. And you can see that even though I don't even remember where I was going with that. That's the joy of lives, right? Even though I saw it would probably come together quicker if I wasn't talking. So at the very bottom, I could tell there was something I wasn't catching. So I'm just going to scoop up from the bottom, chop these couple bits of lettuce. Super easy to throw this together, though. I think that was the gist of this. What I was trying to say. All right, so here's where you have those. Oh, yes, you can see that you don't need to have lots of mayo. How when you chop that cheese, the tomato, all of that will hold it together, and you're not having to go, okay, what do I do with this? I had a couple of tomatoes that need to be chopped. It does come together, and it's all good. All right, this is where you have your choice. You can choose whether you're going to put it on a bun or whether you're going to eat it in a bowl. So you can keep it as your sub in a tub, or you can put it onto some bread and go from there. So our grocery store carries sourdough hoagies. This is my vehicle of choice when I'm going to eat it on some bread. Grab my serrated knife. And here we go. You can see, oh, fresh, yum, 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 yum. Okay. We're going to serve it up. There's no need to put any extra cheese, any extra condiments, anything, although I might put on some more banana peppers just for fun. And once you get it loaded in there, this is one big sub. And it will satisfy anybody because you can put in what you want and it makes supper go super quickly. So, if you like recipes like this, well, I swing you around and get my camera back into where it should be. If you like recipes like this, I want you to go and check me out and subscribe. That's what I'm told YouTubers are supposed to do that. So here I am on YouTube because I love to send things like this. And I'm working on something fun that I'll share it with you later. But it might be just something that will help you with your everyday dinners too. So I'm going to call up my kids and my hubby. We'll just have to eat this when he gets home because he works on Tuesday nights. So that's why it's easy for me to cook well. Anyway, sub in a tub, in a sub, or not in a sub. I'm going to do mine not in a sub, I think. Super easy. I hope this helps make your dinners so much more doable. And we'll catch you later. Have a great night. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this thing off because I don't know with these handy dandy things. That shares. Oh, good night. I can't figure out how to close us. This is a great live. See, I'm learning. This is the first time I got to use my camera. For those of you who've been following me and you subscribed so that I could do this. This is what you get. I got to figure it out, okay? All right.